Alright, nieces and nephews, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to take the wife's stock drag bars on her 2010 Dyna Fat Bob, and we're going to put on some 12-inch apes. Or 12 inches, I think a lot of people call them mini apes. But this is going to be the first time I've messed with bars since 2007, when I changed the bars on my Sportster from the mini apes that came on that to the 16s that I ran with for 8 years. While not necessarily nervous about it, I am unfamiliar with some of the processes. I have watched a couple videos on it. I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. If I run into some trouble, I'll reach out for help. Yeah, Fat Bob's kind of known for these drag bars. They come from the factory with these 4-inch risers, so we had to get new risers. We got 1.5-inch risers. Got cables. I'm gonna have to do something with this rear wheel to get to an access panel to get some of the clumped wires out from behind there. And I'm gonna have to do the fuel tank. First things first, we're gonna start messing with getting the seat off, getting the fuel tank off, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Actually, before we even do any of that, what I'm gonna do is we have to take this exhaust off to get to the outer transmission cover. So I'm going to get ahead of the game and spray some penetrant. I'm going to spray some of that on the bolts, on the nuts that hold the exhaust on. We might not get to that for a little bit. I want to make sure that's on there covered. Take seat off and battery off. I got to replace her battery anyway, so we're probably going to do that at the same time. Wish I had a shorter extension for this, but I don't. You know, I've never even looked at this, the date on this battery. I have no idea how old it is. But because it takes a long charge, pretty much every time I charge it, I'm going to assume that it's a little older. Strap on there. So this is marked. No, it's not marked. Not marked at all. I have no idea how old this battery is. All right, now that's disconnected, we can start working on the fuel tank. All right, the dash has 3 of these 3/16 Allens. Start working on that first. I'm going to put these nuts back where they went, or these bolts, to hold everything on, you know. The dash has some things plugged into it. All right, so what's holding it on? I don't think I'm going to be able to get out. Well, ain't that a pain in the ass. So for now, we're going to set this up here, kind of out of the way. That's off. This fuel vent off. Okay. This goes here. Is this a 1/2 inch? It is a 1/2 inch. How about that? All right, don't beat on that like I did. All you have to do is wiggle the tank a little bit and it'll come off. All right, this is also 1/2 inch by the looks of it. Yeah, I just want to break it. Okay, I'm gonna have to stand in front. Want to be careful not to hit her tank. Now, she does want to get this thing painted, so not that I want to be all over the place, but I'm not as worried about it as maybe I would be on a different bike. All right, I'm gonna leave this nut on here loosely. I'm gonna show you why. Okay, now for the fun part. You got this fuel injection line, which on the night train I tore the gasket inside of there, and a tip that I heard was while you're pulling this out, kind of wiggle it a little bit. And don't just pull it straight out. All right, now I should be able to lift this thing up. Now the tricky part, I got to drain this tank. And when I tried it on the night train, I failed miserably. So, yeah, let's see if I can do it better this time, shall we? All right, we're gonna pinch this line off. Now they make hose clamps that pinch these off that aren't so abrasive on the line. But I bought enough tubing that I'm actually going to replace it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of pinch it off over here. It's not tight enough. These older bikes have this crossover tube, so there we go. That should hold it off. Okay, here comes the fun part. Like I said, I failed at this pretty miserably. Now I'm going to lose a little bit of gas. I do know that. This is probably the original fuel line from back then, only because this pinch style clamp is the factory style clamp. There we go. Nope. Okay. Well, we're getting it everywhere, just like last time. Except this time, I got control of it. There we go. What you can't see off camera, and I'm not going to touch it, is I've got this now going into this 5-gallon gas can. I did lose a little bit of fuel, but nowhere near as bad as what it could have been. That's why I moved the motorcycle out onto the driveway. When I go to do some of the other components, we're gonna push it back in the garage and work on it in there. Get a little bit better light that way. I'm gonna go wash my hands and we'll get back to it. All right, the driveway is on a little bit of a downward slope. So we're going to make sure that gets down in there. Yeah, already feeling a lot lighter. This is great, man. So the other side is gonna be easier, and I actually wish more of the gas was over on that side. I'm gonna show you why. This is a 1/4-inch fuel line. I bought this little barb, 1/4 to 1/4. I could pre-install this onto this side, put this side on. Those vice grips that I put on the other side, just gonna take them off. How easy, how easy. All right, so it looks like most of the gas got out of there, maybe because it was on the side stand. I'm gonna lift the tank again while it's on that side. Yeah, just to make sure, man, just to make sure. No, it's leaking. Where's it leaking from? Where's it leaking from? That side, mother. Okay. All right, so we still got some on that side there. Okay, well, hey, we're learning, man. Easy way, hard way, don't matter to me. We're gonna take this towel, fold it up nice and tight, lift that tank back up. Gas should still be coming out of there. That is an empty gas tank, my friends. That is an empty gas tank. Now, if you remember, I put this mounting nut back on, just hand loose. I don't even want to call it hand tight, it's just loose. All right, we should just be able to take this thing off now. Nope, not quite yet. Let's pull it back a little. I got a little bit more to do here, a little bit more. Okay, so not only do I need to take the fuel line off that I put on, but there's an electrical connector behind here for the fuel gauge. All right. Just let it back a little bit more. Disconnect this bad boy. All right, now we should be able to just take it right off. All right, fuel thing's off. She is mostly disassembled. I'm probably going to try to drain a little bit more of that fuel out because yeah, I'd feel better about it if it did. We're going to roll it back in the garage and get ready to take off the other components. Ooh, I was looking for that. Thank you, son. I was actually looking for that. Well, you're a sweetheart. So if you guys remember, I lost that bolt earlier. There it is. My grandson found it. Quite the helper. All right, we're going to not bleed. We're going to drain the front brake because we're putting a whole different size brake line on. Oh shit! Hold that still up there, please, baby. Bring it back this way a little bit. Don't let it spill. The brake reservoir is wide open.
Oh.
Pull it more that way, or is it level? There you go. This is the official tool of the Uncle Bogator garage. We're going to drain into this. We're recycling, man. All right. Hold it still, because I'm about to pull it on, son. Oh, son of a fuck. This is why I need 6-point wrenches, 6-point box end wrench, or yeah. Shit. All right, well, in that drawer that's open, there's a pair of needle nose vice grips that I just put in there that should be right on top somewhere. If you guys remember when I first got this thing, I had to change out these nipples because this thing was stripped out. Son of a bitch, dude. Holy shit, guys. Holy fuck. Okay, first hiccup. I just put those nipples. I just put those bleed screws on these calipers when we first got the bike. So back early April, did that, and neither side wants to come off. It's soft metal. They're both, even with vice grips, they're just stripping. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably gonna continue on with this project and then ask a friend of mine locally if they can get those nipples out and then get some new nipples again. What an absolute pain in the ass. But I'm gonna continue disassembly. I want to take a few more things off and we'll call it a day. And tomorrow we'll get back in here to finish up the rest of the project. All right, so we got kind of a solution on the bleed nipple problems. I've got a buddy of mine that he's going to take those off for me. I'm going to take the calipers off. I'm going to take them over to his shop. We're going to do that on Thursday. Hopefully that's the last thing we got to do. And then also hopefully one of the local Harley shops. I've got Sanford, Gator, and Leesburg, and then I've got Daytona close by. Hopefully one of those has some things in stock. You know what I'm saying? All right, so for now, we're gonna take all the stuff off the handlebars, see how far we can get on the disassembly. I'm gonna work on this for about another hour. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I could go into the evening, and I may do it when I get back, but we got some stuff to pick up at the Home Depot about 10 miles away, and I'm excited for that too. Gotta loosen this clutch cable up. Put that all the way nice and floppy. All right, there's a little snap ring up under here that holds this clutch cable on. I could barely see it. I don't expect you guys to see it on the camera here because of how dark it is up under here. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do instead? I'm gonna take this whole assembly off, then take off the snap ring. There we go. Be smarter, not harder. All right, so we're gonna take this whole assembly off, then do it that way. These are T25 and T27. The ones up top here appear to be T27. No, T25. These guys here are T27. Well, that sun's coming right in my eye. I'm gonna have to hang some drapes over there, I think. Get this whole assembly off. Hopefully these grips don't give me too much trouble. There we go. All right. Always hold your hardware where they came out of. A lot easier that way. And as luck would have it, now my friend, now we can look directly at this damn snap ring. Huh? How about that? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Doesn't help that this sun's shining in my face. Holy smokes. I don't like this sun shining in my face. I might put that off. We almost had it. If I don't get it on this little go here. Alright, these bars are internal, so alright, left grip, we're going to reuse that, obviously. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to fully take these bars off until after we figure out this thing with the rear wheel. Okay, and these guys on this side, I got to pull those wires out from that shit that's going on in front of the rear wheel. But I think you guys get the idea for now. I don't need to show this whole thing here. Just pull these T27s and T25s off to get these loose, and then yeah, we'll go from there. As I progressed through the task of disassembly, determined to let my sheer will guide me through this quest, it started to become apparent that I had not the prowess, dexterity, or cunning to see it through to the end. In the distance, I could hear the hellhounds let loose from their prison, their snarls becoming less distant with each passing frustration. As they came near, the stench of defeat was strong. The overwhelming realization that I'm merely a man, flawed, aging, and weak. Knowing I was outnumbered, I hung my head in defeat and awaited their inevitable gnashing until at last it was over. I think one of the most difficult things to do for a man, especially in my generation, is to admit defeat. So far on the channel, everything that I have set my mind to doing, I've done. I've often had to reference manuals, forums, YouTube videos, calls to friends and other folks, but eventually I get it done. These bars, I'm at a point now where I call it 3 strikes, you're out. The bleed nipples are stripped. Nipples. The forward cylinder, forward exhaust bolt, the whole stud's turning. It's not breaking, it's turning, which is fine. And last but not least, I can't get the wires out. So supposedly, talking to Shelby, and every video I watched on Dyna handlebars, supposedly there's an access panel in the rear fender in front of the tire. This Bob, it doesn't have that, and I don't expect you to be able to see. And so you'd think if there's no access panel, that okay, I should see the wad of wires, but I don't. I don't see the wad of wires. They're not. This ain't it. This ain't it here. So I'm perplexed. I did buy a PDF service manual last night and started looking around. And it sounds like maybe if I take off the electrical caddy, which is here. This battery box, I might have access to it, but I just don't, because I don't have any experience with it. I mean, you don't have experience in anything until you do it right, but I don't know how hard to pull on these things. I mean, here's some wires here. I mean, I don't know how much. I don't see anything moving back there. It makes me really nervous pulling on it some more. I've already pulled. This is the right turn signal. Well, one of them is. Anyway, I already pulled that loose, and the rest of it's inside of there. So I'm at a point now where I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna risk it anymore. I'm gonna take it to somebody to do. It sucks because one of the reasons, I mean, aside from content, right? One of the reasons I wanted to do it myself is you save hundreds of dollars doing it yourself, but I'm lost. I know some people are going to say, oh, all you have to do is this. Maybe so. But I don't want to risk it anymore. Then it'll turn out to be an even more expensive error, and I can just go get it done. But the Ride Factory is booked out all the way until next year. I mean, next year's only a couple months away, but there's a guy I've been kind of hanging out with, talking to recently, named Pedro. You guys have probably seen him if you watch the Kenny Quest show. He does a lot of his work, so he's about 45 minutes away. We're going to trailer the bike and all the parts over to his shop on Friday. He's going to mess with it next week. Just charge me the labor since I have all the parts, and yeah. Well, there she is, boys, on her way to the shop. As any man, I really hate admitting defeat on this thing, but you guys saw as I was working that I ran into problems. I can't be above admitting defeat. I mean, this is the first time I've ever set out to do a project on a motorcycle that I've not powered through. Now, there are things that I haven't done that I've taken to the shop, but those are things that I already knew that I couldn't do or that I was going to run into problems. This one, I don't know, man, just three speed bumps that came up. I just don't want to risk it anymore. It's the big part is a lack of experience. I know those wires will come out of the frame to get the connectors out to do the wiring, but I don't know how hard I need to pull for that because of my lack of experience. So instead of doing that, we're going to take it over to my buddy Pedro's house, and he's going to do the work for us. I mean, we're going to pay him. He's a mechanic. That's what he does. But yeah, we'll see you down there. Well, so when you run into a speed bump and you're in Central Florida, this is the man, Pedro.
Hey, how you doing?
You guys have seen Pedro around if you're watching Kenny Quest, and according to Kenny, you were doing some things beforehand too on some other channels, maybe.
A little bit with Blockhead before he got the big shop. And
yeah.
I worked with Jason Paul Michaels at Standard.
How about
so,
that?
Like, it was some stuff. I've been around.
Nice. And I appreciate that. Like I was saying earlier, I don't have experience with what I'm trying to do, which made me kind of hanging up. And so I showed him the roadblocks I ran into, and he's like, yeah, so fucking what? Like, he's going to take care of it. So, yep, looking forward to having this thing done. But look at this. Look at this nice yard of motorcycles. We might have some upcoming stuff on some of these things as well. No spoilers yet because nothing's in the books. But, yeah, we'll see. All right, here she is. This is like 4 days later. What do you think, baby? Got apes on your bike? Thanks to Mr. Pedro. Well, no, I was gonna say, I'm like, do I say Portugal Wanderer? Do I say Pedro?
Wanderer, it's...
Thanks to Wanderer, we got this thing done, so we're gonna settle up with him and get out. I didn't show you guys all the cool stuff he had out here the other day, and maybe it's all secret.
They're covered because they're turds and they rust in the rain.
Okay. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got his BMW ADV bike. He's got choppers. He's got his wife's FXR, which is pretty sick. And you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of FXR, but that one's done up pretty good. I'm sure we'll get back out here some in the daytime some more and get some of this stuff in action maybe. But we've elected to ride this thing home. Well, I have elected to. It's dark and it's misting outside, which is the absolute most dangerous way to ride, but my back's been hurting. I don't want to dick around with a trailer in this thing, so the lesser of two evils for me is just suck it up and ride in the rain. So we'll see you on the road. All right, boys. I don't know how this is going to do in the dark. Got my rain gear on. I bought this rain gear back in May. I didn't hide my wires yet. We will. Bought it in anticipation of riding season, and then I didn't ride in the summer at all. Not because of rainy season, for other reasons, but oh, I'm excited, man. We're gonna go. We're gonna stop and get some gas. I need gas in both vehicles. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for her. She's always wanted a lifted Jeep. We got her that. She's always wanted a Harley Davidson with ape hangers. Got her that. So, what more can you ask for as a young American woman, huh? All right, this is going to be tough for me. Well, her headlight's hanging a little bit lower than I want. We're going to have to adjust that too. Let me get up here. It's got a much nicer feel. I think these are 12s. I'm glad I didn't go 12s because the stance is a little bit too, not too low, not necessarily, but I wish it was a little bit more forward. But that's for me. This bike is hers. Yeah, I definitely have to adjust her headlight. Oh man, yeah, this isn't. It's like shining directly down below. That is no good. Here, let's give myself a little bit more illumination. All right, boys. I cut the camera off rather abruptly back there because I was kind of stressed out. One, the headlight was aimed way too far down. I adjusted it at the gas station. It was raining. It's dark. I had a mist all over my visor, and the oncoming traffic was. You guys get it. It was just kind of difficult. But anyway, we got back home. Took about an hour to get back on the back roads. Very slow at times as I was getting the feel for everything. But will you take a look? That is beautiful, man. I don't think I've ever seen a Fat Bob with apes. I think usually people keep the drag bars on, but man, that just looks really, really sharp. We got to put her seat on instead of the regular seat. For me, I think I could have used it a little bit more forward, but it's not for me, so it doesn't matter. Also, I bought some rain gear back in May in anticipation for riding season, and I've never used it until tonight. That stuff, I can't believe how good that stuff actually works compared to any other thing I've ever worn. I'm glad I finally got to wear it. I don't know why I have it laying over here to dry. By nature, it's pretty much already dry. The water just rolls right off of it. But yeah, I'm glad I got it done. So if you guys are in the Central Florida area, or if not and willing to ride or drive a little bit, look up the Wanderer. I'll link him here. Great dude. I've met him before. This is the first time that I've employed his services. I think he did a great job on it. Very fair on his prices. Yeah, give him a shout. But yeah, we'll see you when we see you. All right, y'all. That's going to wrap this one up. We're going to do one of my infamous kitchen shots. This is a different kitchen, though. I was going to put Uncle Bo Mama in the outro here and the grandson, but she's opted not to because she kind of looks like Pebbles from Flintstones right now, and she does look like Trailer Park Queen because she is. So off camera, how you like the bars?
I love them.
You guys are going to see more of that.
Amazing.
They are amazing for her. You guys are going to see that more of that, and the next video or the video after next. We had a nice ride. It was her first ride on them, and she loved them. But this video, while it started off recording, the video was supposed to be about changing her bars. The subject, the takeaway, I think, for the whole thing is, it's okay to not be able to do something, especially if you have other resources to be able to take it to. Now, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I could pay him, Pedro, to do those, but it's okay to admit defeat. It's all right to not have everything under control all the time. I damn sure don't have a lot of things under control. But anyway, I do also have, if you made it this far in the video, congrats. Got my first shirt, my first real shirt coming out soon. Look out here on YouTube and on Instagram. Follow me there. I'm going to launch that here in the upcoming days, maybe in the next week. Yeah, thanks for coming along for this video and all videos. And until next time, we'll see you later.